What's up, Internet? What's going on? It's some day of the week. What day of the week is it? I'm freaking out. Wednesday. Whoa. Wednesday, the 28th of March. The year is flying by, you guys. The year is flying by. It's flying by the seat of your pants. We're going flying by. The year is going by so fast. It's unbelievable. But Nisi of the North, first to the chat. Congratulations. First to the chat, quickly followed by the Turtle Girl, who left and will be back later. Sarah Kanopko coming in third, followed by Bald and Dangerous. Good to see you. And Daryl Dimer. M. Howie 9. Lexi V. and Nelson Montañez. Digging it very much. Good to see you guys out here. Don't hit the like button yet. We're going to try to do the like spike. I don't know if anybody knows what the like spike is. We're all going to try to hit the like button all at the same time today. So don't hit the like button yet. We're going to try and hit the like button all at the same time. Right? Or something. We're going to try to do that today. So don't hit the like button yet. We're going to mangle it all at the same time. We're going to try and do it all at the same time. But I'm going to continue saying hi to people, but don't hit the like button yet. We're going to hit it all at the same time, right? Does that do a thing? From what I hear, it does a thing. So we're going to give it a shot. We tried to do it on the Real Fish Talk, but we didn't think about it ahead of time. But I thought about it ahead of time here, and I was like, hey, let's try it or something. Or let's not, or let's try it. Man, I'm on a roll today because guess who got 4 hours of sleep last night? This guy right here. Poke myself in the eye to try and stay awake. If I start to fall asleep, somebody slap me and keep me awake. You know, if I fall asleep during the show and I'm just like, if I do that, somebody wake me up. Somebody text Mr. Chips and tell him to bark at me or something. We've got Joel Gillett from New Zealand. Hola, muchacho. ¿Cómo está? Bien, bien. Aquí. Yeah, good to see you. Lexi V is here. Savannah, the Aqua Llama, is here. Good to see you. Shout out to Alyssa Bentley. Charlie List. Candy Overhauls, what's up? How you doing? Good to see you. David Cummings is here. Rocky's Rocky. Oh. It's Rocky's Rocky. Digging it. What's up, man? Good to see you. Karen Pepe has made it out. So has Bentley Pascal. Hopefully he got his... Speaking of Bentley Pascal, hopefully he got his filter floss. I did send him a link to the filter floss just the other day. Hopefully he's got it in. Did it come in? We don't know yet. Maybe it hasn't arrived. Maybe it's still to come. And Allie just sent me a message that said fan mail has arrived for me at the Aquarium Co-op. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to find out what the fan mail is. Oh man. I bet you I know what it is. I bet you I know what it is. I bet you I got an email ahead of time to let me know what it is, and I think I know what it is. Fan mail has arrived. Okay, don't hit the like button yet, guys. We're going to do a try and like spike today. We're going to try and do that. So looks like about 40 more people just showed up. So we're going to try and hit it all at the same time. West Coast Aquatics is here just in time. Just in time for the 2-hour show. Right. Dan Squires is here. Ricab Harris, good to see you. Lumpy Dog in the house, good to see you. Dreams of Aquarium says, hey, this show starts at 1 a.m. here, so usually I tune in, fall asleep, and forget it's playing. So, good night. Have a good show. Hear you tomorrow. Okay, Dreams of Aquariums. I like it. So maybe say, I have, that is one of the pieces of continuity that, that has definitely, I have noticed over the time that I've been doing this, is that there are some people out there that listen to this show while they sleep. I don't know if it's the soothing sounds of my voice or the constant ramblings of a weirdo, but yeah, if it's working for you, that's good enough for me. Why not? It's good enough for me if it's good enough for you. Lumpy Dog's here, mentioning the vision board, which is fantastic, and I completely forgot to bring it in here today. But I should show off my vision board at some point in time. It's lovely. It's lovely, my vision board. If you don't have a vision board, you should definitely put one together. You know, it's just one of those things. You should definitely do a vision board. And if you don't know what it is, I'll let you know in a minute, as soon as we're done here. Saying hola to all the people. Oh, man, what happened? Oh, thanks, Mouse. You just scrolled through the chat all super fast. I don't know how to read that fast. Mateo5001 is here, saying hello from Idaho, which is fantastic. Everybody knows that's where... Everybody in the whole wide world knows that's where I want to be living someday, so hopefully we'll get there. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Kevin Keener's here. Michael Moncourt, Soggy Pitts, Famous Jones, Alvin Alejo, the Zombie Drummer. What's good, my brother? How you doing? Gabe Jamon? Gabe Jamon? Gabe Jamon? Gabe Jamon. I don't know. Well, hi, Gabe. Good to see you. Heather from Verona Aquatics. Leonie Ballantyne. Good to see you. William G. Bear. Master Beta is here. The Fox Aquatic. Huzzah. Actually here for a change. Oh, right on. I like it. Oleg Reshtov is here, my man. What you doing? Lord Getface. Good to see you. Licks Nibbles. Tampa Tom. Trying to read. Oh, what is that? Kilm Michael. Kilm Eichel. Threes Day. Good to see you, man. Let's see. Penelope Flores is here saying hello, Oceaneers. What's up, Oceaneers? Oh, man. Almost I forgot about the hashtag Oceaneers. Joel Gillett says he's sick today. That's a drag. I'm sorry to hear that, my man. Hopefully you got to stay home from work, though. Did you? Did you get to stay home from work because you were sick? Aquaman is here. Ultimate Fish Keeping Show. What's up? Good to see you. And Guppy Guru, Travis Hemming. There's so many of you. If I missed anybody, Fishy Mailman's here. He's lurking while working and probably delivering the mail. Oh, Caleb Overhauls is here. What's up, my man? #1 fan, Caleb Overhauls. Surprise! It's Caleb. He's here, everybody. Good to see Caleb. Thanks for coming out, my man. We have a super chat here. Alert. We've got a 99-cent super chat from the Guppy Guru. Thank you very much. Little tip jar action. Oh, speaking of the tip jar, I gotta get some coffee money, you guys. This is my last not Biddy Brown. This is my last Mr. Brown. Oh, from Victor. You guys, it's a sad day. It's gonna be the last Mr. Brown. And I don't know what to do with myself. Like, I gotta go to find where Mr. Brown is sold in stores. Hopefully there's a store around here that sells it. I don't know, but it's my last one from Victor. And a big shout to Victor. Thank you for the Valentine's Day, Mr. Brown. It's lasted this long. Fantastic. This is the last one. It's the last one, you guys. Down the hatch, Mary Bobbins, right? So, but that's the last one, and just a big exceptional thank you to Victor, and an exceptional thank you to anyone who has ever grabbed anything off of my Amazon wish list. Thank you guys. I don't know who the fan mail is from at the Aquarium Co-op. I will tell you guys on Friday, but thank you, whoever that is. Fan mail is always so cool. I wish I had a P.O. box again, but I don't. So if anybody ever does want to send fan mail in, you can send it care of the Aquarium Co-op. You can just run over to their website, and they have a street address, and you can just mail it there and just put care of Corvus on it, and they'll know it's for me, and you'll go, and they'll go, oh, and they'll send me a message. And I'm up there sometimes. From time to time, I'm able to pick it up, so works out just fine. JH Aquatics just popping by to say hi. Non-fish related plumbing emergency. Gotta run. Ooh. Oh, well, you know. That's how it goes. Okay, guys, so as I said, we were going to do the like spike experiment today. We'll see how this works. I'm going to count down from 5, so if everybody can get ready and hover over the like button, we're going to get ready to do the like spike here. It's 153 people in here right now, so is that sufficient? I don't know. I don't know what the robots want us to do, right? I don't know what the robots want us to do, but we're just going to try this experiment. We'll see if it's fun or if it does something or if something happens. I don't know. So as you guys know, our goal here, our long-standing goal is to get to 1,000 live, and then I'm going to be able to give away a painting. Someone from the live chat, if we hit 1,000 live watching, I will put up a random 3-digit number. Three-digit number? Yes. And then whoever, or no, sorry. Well, someone from the chat will win it, basically. I'll put it that way. It just whoever's randomly in the chat, I'll give it away. As long as you're in the United States. That's the only problem. International shipping is crazy. It's crazy. So, hopefully everybody's hanging over the like button now. We can do the little like spike thing and see what happens. I'm going to count down from 5. So here we go. 5, a 4, a 3, a 2, a 1. Engage. Hit the like button, I guess. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe we'll break the internet. I don't know. Probably not. I mean, 150 people hitting the like button all at the same time should probably not break the internet, but maybe it'll alert the YouTubes that something is happening. Yeah, but apparently instead, everyone is just putting in random numbers into the chat. Which isn't going to happen now. We don't have 1,000 people in the live chat, you guys. Come on. We don't have enough. We don't have enough. We don't have 1,000. If we get to 1,000, basically, I'll put it this way. If we get to over 1,000 live, it's just going to move that from the 3 numbers to the 4 numbers, which is crazy. So I think it would definitely, to me, that would be a, I guess just, it would feel like a personal goal has been met or whatever. And I would go, you know what, the couple weeks or the week that it takes to make a painting, however long, however many hours it is, let's say 39 hours, to make a painting would certainly be worth it because we'd be hitting some milestones and that would be cool, right? So that's the reason for just going 1,000. It's just kind of an arbitrary number of going like, hey, we're hitting some kind of crazy metric, you know. So that's the reason for that. I just had to kind of pick something and go with a milestone. So that's the milestone, is to hit 1,000. If we do, yeah, totally awesome. But I don't know. Did it go up? I don't know. There's no real way for me to tell if it actually goes up or not from my end here because my broadcasting situation, it doesn't say whether anybody hit the like button or not. I forget how I have to look it up. I have to look it up some kind of weird way. And, you know, that totally sidebars the show. If I'm clicking around on my on my mouse and doing a bunch of silly nonsense. So I guess we did the like spike, and then 15 people left. So, all right. Well, either way, maybe it worked, maybe it didn't. I don't know. Alyssa Bentley was wondering if it was magic. Was it magic? Did unicorns appear or narwhals? I'd welcome a narwhal. Don't know that I would welcome a unicorn, you know? Maybe I'd welcome a unicorn. I don't know. What's their temperament? That would be my concern. Because we're talking about a fast-moving, powerful mammal, land mammal, with a sword on its head. And probably some kind of magic. So, but narwhals, yeah, I'd definitely be into having a narwhal around. Although I don't have any water for him. That would be problematic, you guys. Let's see. Chansky85 has a good question here. Corvus, do we get to pick what the painting is of, or will the piece be done already? Nope. It won't be done already. You'll get to pick it. So if you want me to make a painting of the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile, or let's see, Noam Chomsky, or a robot from space, or a rummy-nosed tetra, you'd get to pick. You'd actually get to pick a commission piece just like how I normally commission pieces, except for there would be no payment. So we'd actually email back and forth. We'd get a good idea of what you want. I'd throw you some ideas, some kind of sketches, that kind of thing. Then we'd figure it out, and then it would start. And you could actually be able to track the progress, because you'd probably be able to check it out in the background back here. And, you know, it's one of those things, like maybe it gets close to done, and you're like, I don't like it, throw it away. And I'll be like, okay, man. Oh, I'm depressed now. And can we all be depressed? So I would do that. Ultimate Fish Keeping Shows here is it says, if I say something right this very minute, you are able to reply directly to myself. Well, sometimes, you know, up to the minute, but I'm definitely like a little bit behind, you know. Well, you guys are behind me, so I guess I'm ahead. You guys are on delay, so, you know. Frank Dominguez says a painting of Mr. Chips. That is a fantastic idea. I recently was working on a project that I've had to kind of throw off to the side. That's just kind of waiting. So maybe I will do a picture. Maybe that canvas will be a big painting of Mr. Chips. I don't know. I think Vicky would probably get a little bit pissed that I didn't do a painting of Biddy Brown, though. Maybe I'll do a combo. Maybe I'll do a combo of, what's the word? Combo of both the dogs. You know what I mean? Like one of those old school, like Yen Louis portraits with the two people, you know? It's maybe like Biddy Brown's just like looking off into the distance in the background, and then Mr. Chips is in the front doing his chips thing. So let's... Oh, we've got a bunch of super chats coming in. We've got to answer, my folks. Hey, my folks, we've got to answer these super chats. I wonder, I was talking about the Amazon wish list earlier. Did anybody post it into the chat? We should post that into the chat. Or just go buy all of the shirts from Teespring. You know, that or the other thing. Because I got to go get some more coffee. Somebody got super mad a little while ago that I have an Amazon wish list. And to those people, good luck to you. I hope everything works out well. Well, we've got a $4.99 super chat from a Pleco Nation. is saying, keep up the great work, buddy. You're very welcome. I will. Master Beta says, Skynet has been activated. Termination is imminent. Well, hopefully not. Hopefully I don't get murdered by the robots or anything like that. KG Cichlids, a painting of Hank Hill with Corey's face on it would be sweet. That might be happening anyhow. Let's see here. Oh, we've got a super chat here from Andrew Crankshaw saying, life's a koi pond. Dig it. Well, thank you for the super chat. And yeah, life is a koi pond, and I dig it, my man. I will be digging a koi pond very soon. I can't wait to get going on that project. We're kind of coming up on it. It's probably going to be at least a few weeks from now, but we will be coming up on that project, and I'm pretty excited. Eric Gone Mad, what's up, my man? Says hi. He's driving and lurking. He's lurking and driving and lurking and driving. All right. Well, you pay attention to the road, man. I did so much driving yesterday. I don't even know how many people I saw drifting in and out of lanes. You know, semi-drivers asleep at the wheel, Escalade people just drifting into my lane over and over again. I saw a Prius doing about 100 miles an hour. Yeah, so let's pay attention on the roads out there. And, you know, one of the things that came up recently in the news is this unfortunate accident with the automated self-driving car. Accidentally killed somebody in Arizona. An unfortunate accident. And a lot of people are blaming the self-driving car for it. I would wait till the ruling comes out because the video is brutal and it does not look like an accident that could have been avoided. And to be brutally honest with you, I can't wait till the self-driving cars. I cannot wait till the self-driving cars take over. Spent probably 5 hours driving yesterday altogether, and I'll get to what that was about. You know, be like, hey, here's what you guys get to look forward to because there's a thing coming out with the video thing. But we'll talk about that in a minute. But I spent about 5 hours driving around yesterday, and I do have to admit that I do look forward to the day where A, traffic makes sense, B, people aren't falling asleep, texting, Instagramming, Snapchatting, not paying attention, eating sandwiches, in too much of a rush, just not paying attention. I can't wait for that. I can't wait for that. And to all the people out there that are gonna that have that feeling that like, oh, I'm gonna lose my job. You know, it's like, why is this thing beeping? What the heck? Shh. That thing was beeping. Did you guys hear that? Did you guys even notice that? Probably wouldn't even notice. To those of you out there that are concerned about the jobs and stuff like that, just remember that our world has slowly but surely become automated over the last 70 years, and people are going to have to adapt. You know, everyone's going to have to adapt to the jobs and all that stuff, and we're all going to have to find other things to do. That's one of the reasons I constantly tell people to diversify whatever it is that you're doing and be ready for the future, because the future is going to be a weird situation. There's not going to be, in my opinion, a lot of the research that I've done and stuff like that, in my opinion, there isn't going to be a lot of jobs out there that you can just go do for 40 years and then retire. That just is going by the wayside in America, at least. Maybe other countries, there's going to be a different situation, but that is going to happen fairly soon, and we're going to start seeing more and more Walmart-style corporations that are like, hey, we just pay, we just pay people minimum wage to just be here for a little while, and we don't pay insurance and health insurance or any of that kind of stuff, and So I think that's just going to be happening more and more. But I do look forward to the time that that we'll be able to just drive around and ride around and do other work while we're doing it. Because I'll tell you this much. That if I could be returning emails or like editing video and stuff while riding in a car that was driving itself, I honestly look forward to the day that I'll be able to do that stuff, or at the very least, like, read some reports or figure out some stuff that's going on, work on some, maybe I could work on some writing. I could probably, assuredly, like, probably, I could probably do some kind of weird podcast or something, that kind of thing. Which, running into what I was kind of tying in the conversation here is that speaking of podcasts, well, myself and Dan and I have been, and when I say Dan and I mean I've been doing some stuff and Dan's been doing a bunch of stuff to get the podcast coming out, and it should be launching within the next couple of days, which is these shows, right, in downloadable MP3 format kind of thing. So you'll be able to listen to this kind of stuff if you aren't able to be like at the keyboard or at the computer or any of that kind of stuff for the YouTube stuff. I'm going to be taking on the the financial burden of hosting all the podcasts. That'll be happening very soon, and it sounds like we're getting pretty darn close to launching that and getting that handled. So those people out there that were like, man, I want to listen to these old episodes and stuff like that, but I can't do it because because YouTube's not great for the sort of podcast aspect of it. It's great for like when you're in your office or whatever, but if you don't have YouTube Red, you're going to get commercials, you're going to get that kind of stuff. Did I not turn the... Come on now. I turned the sound off. I don't know why it's doing it. How's that? Okay, no more beeping sound. Go away. Sorry about that, guys. The thing is beeping. The thing is beeping for some reason over here, and I don't 100% know why. So I thought I had that sound turned off, but I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why. Oh, here we go. That's what it is. Okay. The little thing is just going weird. All right. So let's get back to the chat here a little bit because we got a couple of super chats. But we do have that kind of podcast announcement. I know I've mentioned it in the past, but I will say we're pretty close to just going like, dude. So we are, and my goal is to get it launched before the end of the month because we do have to deal with the hosting issues because we have to pile up all of that information. What is beeping? Sorry for freaking out. I don't understand. Hold on. Bet you $5 it was the other computer. Oh man, I thought, here's what's crazy. I kept turning off the sound on this computer, but that computer over there, I forgot to turn off the sound on it. Yes, what is it, rookie amateur hour around here? I think maybe it's possible. I can give myself a hard time. Sorry about those beeps, guys. That's annoying. I know that that's annoying, and that's why I'm kind of flipping out, bros. Last of the Mr. Brown. I gotta savor it. Gotta savor that flavor. But we do have a super chat here from Victoria Bryant for $3.99 saying, thank you, all the likes. Well, thank you. All the likes right back at you. Thanks for liking the show. Thanks for tuning in. I just, honestly, I wouldn't do it if it wasn't for you guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we didn't have the Oceaneers here, there wouldn't be a big reason to do it. Otherwise, I'd just be back here talking to myself. And, honestly, I tried doing this show like a couple of years ago, like maybe almost 4 years ago. I was doing, and they're still posted up. I don't think they're great, but it's a good example of how much this show has improved. And honestly, that comes from you guys. That comes from you guys showing up, chatting, and being a part of the posse. I noticed that Alyssa Bentley was talking about that earlier. Is that one of the big reasons you like being at this, being at a live show like this is because of the chat, because of the people in the chat, the community and stuff, and. Hey, same for me. That's the whole reason I like to be here is be able to talk to you guys, hopefully answer some questions. Yeah. Oh, but speaking of, Alyssa says, hey, if you want his begoggled crazy face as an image in your room, you can buy the shirt and then frame it. You can buy the sticker too if you want. You can buy the sticker. You can even buy that painting if you want. If you got the bucks, if you got the clout, you could buy that. You could buy that painting over there. No problem. That's just, hey, everything I got's for sale. Don't be ridiculous. But I will say, a t-shirt or a hoodie or a sticker or something like that is much more affordable. That just is reality, you know what I mean? That's just reality. The Lone Aquarist is here saying, caricature of the aquarium co-op crew, including you, the entire hashtag fish fam. Yeah, I'm actually working on some Abu crew paintings. So there will be, for a real fish talk, there'll be a me, a Jimmy, and a Corey. Just trying to schedule that in is kind of a problem. I got a text earlier from a project that is ongoing, and I was like, well, I do have to go to do work stuff so that I can pay my mortgage and stuff. You know what I mean? So, I was like, that project has to sit there because it's kind of a favor project, and I'm like, yeah, I gotta pay. I have bills to pay, you know what I mean? So, Dirty Nan 54 is here. Bought a new fish, a leopard bush fish, from my local fish store. He was super healthy and so on. Temperature acclimated him for about 45 minutes and added him in, and he was swimming like he had a swim bladder issue. Let's see. That is weird. If you have a fish with a swim bladder issue, the first thing that I would do is thaw out some frozen peas, deskin them, and feed some frozen pea action. That normally is a great option to normally kind of clear the whatever blockage could be in there. That's a bit odd that you may have gotten that fish. I do have a question immediately that you did you quarantine this fish? Have you put it is it in your quarantine tank? If it is in your quarantine tank, you can actually probably medicate for a couple of things and not have to medicate the whole entire community tank. Anybody out there that doesn't have a quarantine tank, get one. Get it ready. Get it ready to set it up, and don't buy fish unless you're ready to do that. I did get some questions about the rummy nose tetras. Was like, where's your quarantine? Well, they were quarantined off-site from here. They weren't quarantined in my fish room, but they were quarantined for 2 weeks, and they were medicated 3 times. Everything was checked for, heavily feeded, water changes, medicated to make sure I didn't add anything to my 240 that is avoidable. So hopefully you have that fish in a quarantine and you can medicate it, check it out, feed it hopefully some frozen peas and see what's happening from there, and go from there. Secret History, living in your aquarium. What's up, Alex? how you doing? Says, well, those cars could also have to choose between swerving to hit 2 kids versus a guy on a bike in a terrible situation, but they'll have to choose. Well, yeah, people have to choose also. People have to choose when they're driving a car if they're going to run somebody over, run a red light, swerve into another lane, not pay attention, fall asleep, crash, drink spill a hot coffee on their lap and swerve into the other oncoming traffic. I was looking at a statistic that 1,600 people were killed in their car by a train crashing into them last year. So, yeah, while sitting in their car, they were run over by trains. 1,600 people were killed. So, yeah, people make really bad decisions on a regular basis. So, yes, I do look forward to the automated cars, 100%. But, yes, the people also have to make those decisions, too. Let's see here. Dirty Nan was saying, as I always do, I added mess just to the same, and it was some natural herbal medicine. And all my fish went super mellow and not swimming very much. And then all my candy canes were very pale and looked like. So it sounds like you bought a fish from the fish store, from your local fish store, brought it home, and dropped it in. Bad news, you're going to have to treat the whole tank. 100% get a quarantine tank. 1,000% get a quarantine tank to anybody out there. Sorry, I sound like I'm like hugely depressed or anything like that, but it just is something that a lot of people are avoiding, and you really need to get a quarantine tank, because now it sounds like you're gonna have to medicate the whole entire tank, and it's not good. It's not good. Barbara Jackson with the $2.99 super chat saying, sorry for yesterday's shirt sizes, operator error. Oh, well, maybe Barbara got it figured out. I knew it yesterday during Real Fish Talk. She was wondering what was going on. She's ordering some shirts from the ladies department, which I only have a couple of shirts in the ladies varietal. One is specific for the ladies, and there's the 2 other ones. It has to do with setting the design so that it actually works correctly. Different cut of shirt, all that kind of stuff goes into it. And so it's just a matter of time to get more of them for, that aren't like a universal shirt. So we got a couple that are for the ladies, got a couple for the dudes. I don't know. It feels like variety to me, and maybe it's inadvertently being sexist or something. So I hope not. I hope no one takes it that way, because that's really just not the intention. Rumbust with the Swedish Kronos 14.16. Is that right? 14.16. Swedish Kronos super chat with no comment. All right. I'm going to say it, you guys. Rumbust. Beautiful man. Love that. Love that avatar, man. I wish I could rock a mustache. I look a billion years old, though, when I have a mustache, and I can't commit to it yet. I know someday I'll just rock a full beard, big old Grizzly Adams beard, but it does make me look a million. Like, it makes me look like a billion years old. Probably just wait till I have a kid, and then after that, it's like, who's the dad, right? Beard power. So maybe once I'm a dad, I'll start rocking a full beard, maybe. But I dig that. I dig a guy that can get away with a mustache, and it makes sense. And also, if you're Swedish, that also makes sense. You can have a mustache. It's totally cool. You know what I mean? If you're from Portland, don't have a mustache. It doesn't make any sense. Have a beard. If you're from Oregon, you should have a big beard. Or just no beard. Maybe mutton chops. I don't know. Glean Keen is asking, are you going to try to do digital paintings? Probably not. Nope. I like the analog version. But I do design a lot of my stuff graphic. I do graphic design most of my stuff ahead of time, just for time's sake. So yeah, I do implement a lot of computer work and graphic design and things so that to do my work, because it just takes much longer to lay out a bunch of stuff analog wise, whereas on the computer I can just work through the stuff that I need to do, delete it, erase it, redo it, change the color hue, look at stuff, what's the background like. I can do all that kind of stuff on the computer for sure, but that's just to speed it up. I learned how to do everything the hard way, laying down grids. So like if I was going to take a tiny picture from like this that was like this big, I know how to analog make it huge. But it just takes longer. So oftentimes, yes, I do use a lot of digital tools in order to speed up my timeline. It's just that's the only reason. Realistically, it just makes the workflow faster. And whatever I can do to economize my time, I have to really go for that, because I don't have a ton of time. You know, yesterday we dedicated quite a bit of time. As I said, about 5 hours driving around. A big part of that was to go do the Real Fish Talk. If you guys checked that out, if you guys checked out the Real Fish Talk, I'm seeing some familiar faces from the Real Fish Talk, right? Then we also went to a local acrylic sump manufacturer and a big saltwater store, which I have a bunch of footage for. I'm going to release it. It's from yesterday. I got home at 1:30 in the morning and went to sleep and got up at 5:30 this morning. Probably fell asleep for an extra 15 minutes. Sue me. But I'm just kidding. Don't do it. I'm not sure what 15 extra minutes of sleep is worth anyhow. I'm not really sure. But then offloaded all of it, kind of threw the stuff into the computer. Is that what this thing is? Is this a computer? Is that what it is? Threw it all in there, started looking through it, kind of trying to figure out how I want to tell the story of what happened. I might end up putting it in a live stream. I'm not sure yet, but I don't know if I'm going to do a standalone video for it. I might just end up doing it like Monday and just do a salty Monday, right? And talk about reef stuff and everything. As you guys know, I have a 180-gallon with air quote reef tank, salt tank, whatever you want to call it. I do have corals and lights and all that jazz on it. And but it is my hobby tank, so I don't do a ton of shows about it because it's more my hobby thing. Even though I would say on a scale of 1 to 100, I'd say I'm a 62 as far as saltwater knowledge goes. I'm like above average, 50 being average. I'm like a little above average. I'm certainly not a marine biologist or anything crazy like that, but I do know a lot about salt aquariums and stuff. But like I said, it is my hobby. I don't go crazy and deep with it, but I do know how to operate the systems, maintain them properly, dose chemicals, what corals need this, what corals need that, blah, blah, blah. So I do know a lot about it, but I'm thinking maybe Monday might be a great day for the road trip that we did and all the stuff that we did yesterday. So if you guys follow on Instagram or the community tab, I did post some pictures up on that, up on the Instagrams. Let me read the chat here. Trains should be banned from Brandon Cox. Yeah, that brand new technology that's been around longer than any of us have ever known. It's just we can't figure out. Don't stand in front of it when it's coming right for you. I've been hearing commercials about from the National Highway Commission, who's releasing. They're releasing commercials right now to remind people that a train can't stop whether you like it or not. Which They're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to put commercials out there to remind people that trains may or may not run you over. We have a super chat here from the Zombie Drummer at $8.91. Super random number. Said, notice my beta's eyes have clouded up in the last 2 to 3 days. He's acting normal. Established 10-gallon tank. Water parameters have been stable. Cloudy eye is typically got something to do with water quality. I would double check. I mean, you say water parameters have been stable, but yeah, I would double check the water quality and probably go through a couple little water changes for your beta. You know, maybe the mineral content is super high. Who knows? But typically a cloudy eye has to do with a little bit of what's the word? Just a slight water quality issue if you have a cloudy eye, generally with freshwater fish. The lone aquarist is any other saltwater keepers annoyed that you Joey for not quarantining his saltwater fish? Yeah, I'm irritated by anybody who doesn't quarantine their fish. So yes, I agree, regardless of who they are, especially if you claim to be the king. If you claim to be the king of anything, you should be doing it the best, right? And not quarantining fish is not the best way to do it. Quarantine, quarantine, quarantine. I believe that same guy posted a video about cross-contaminating with nets, which is like, I don't know. It is possible, but it's very much not very possible. Like the percentages of that happening is very low. The percentages of bringing something into your aquarium with not quarantining your fish is very high. It's on the other end of the scale. So I don't know, but I'm very irritated that if people don't mention the quarantine time, you have to quarantine your fish. It's very important, and it should always be done. Denise Lytle with a $5 super chat says, anxious to know, did you receive your package? Once you receive it, I will tell you what the surprise happens to be. Well, thank you, Denise. I think the package is actually from you. I did get a message earlier from the Aquarium Co-op that a fan mail has come at the Aquarium Co-op. I'm guessing it's probably the seeds from you. I'll be picking those up tomorrow at some point in time. Probably super early or something like that. I would probably tomorrow. Yeah, I'll be picking up probably super early tomorrow, and I'll check it out and I'll get back to you, Denise. And like I said, we're gonna start sprouting. We're gonna start sprouting pretty soon here. It looks like we've gotten past the last freeze of the year. So it looks like there shouldn't be any more heavy freezes. Although this last weekend it was hailing and snowing again. I don't ask me why that was going on. I don't know why. But it was again in, I guess it's still March, so technically, but we should be sprouting pretty soon in our little greenhouse, which shouldn't frost at all. And obviously we'll make a YouTube video about that. It'll probably come out on Vicky's channel though, honestly. Yeah, so that'll be coming out pretty soon. Stevel Knievel, Opaline Opaline Gourami, kill mystery snails? Possibly, it's not super likely, but it is possible that they could kill snails. I mean, really, like, any fish could potentially, do some snail murder. Am I shrinking down? Am I getting smaller? Any fish could possibly do some snail murder. There are a lot of fish out there that will eat snail eggs, that's for sure. I know I've had a lot of betas where I was like, there's no way those guys are eating snails, but the little baby snails, hammer time, they would go for them. So Opaline Gourami, maybe. I would not put it past the fish, especially if it's hungry. You know, they're from the wild, man. They like to wild out. But I wouldn't put it past them. But I wouldn't really think, oh yeah, for sure. You know, so I guess 50-50. But you could keep an eye on them and see what they're doing. At Tampa Tom, I have a cycled sponge filter in another tank that I can pop into an empty tank to quarantine. Okay, well now I know what video I gotta post up tomorrow. I'm gonna post a video tomorrow about my little quarantine system. I think that's what video needs to come out tomorrow morning. So I'll be rocking that little video out tomorrow morning, and yeah, so look forward to that. We have a $1.99 super chat from Toast707. Says, hipsters ruined beards. Well, that's just like your opinion, man. It's possible. It's possible that hipsters, I don't even really understand what a hipster is anymore. I felt like I had a good idea of what people were using that word for, and now it's just sort of like, now it's just kind of sort of used as like a universal diss, I guess. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I don't even know who that group of people is really anymore. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. Multi-tank addiction says, I can't grow a beard or even mutton chops, just a goatee and a mustache. Well, that's working for you, multi-tank addiction, aka Chris. If you guys haven't seen Multi-Tank Addiction's coffee stream in the mornings on the weekend, he gets up nice and early and does a morning live stream. Coffee, what is it? Coffee with Chris, I think that's what he calls it. I don't know. I just get the notification for it and click on it because I'm 100 million years old. So I just click on it and go to it, and we have some cups of coffee in the morning on the weekend. So generally Saturdays, I'm normally around for that because I get up super early, and so does Chris, and he starts to stream super early. I think he starts at 6 a.m., which I guess isn't a big deal on the East Coast, because if you're like in New York City, that's 9 a.m., which isn't that's not that early at all for a Saturday, you know? Bentley Pascal says, my preference on that route is to take a dirty sponge filter and use the new quarantine tank as my rinse, squeeze all the gunk out, and then put that same sponge filter in there. Yep, I'm going to have to post a quarantine tank video tomorrow. I'll show you guys how I do it. I'll post a quarantine tank video tomorrow and show you guys how I do it. Let's see. Ashley Taylor says, I called it the trolley dilemma problem. There's already substantial work being undertaken to insert two cars in an ethical algorithm. But like you said, Joel, these decisions will have to be made quicker, earlier, etc. Yeah, you know, I agree that the algorithm will get better and better with the automated driving. One of the biggest things with the automated self-driving cars is that they will be communicating with each other so that all of the cars can go in cahoots. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be it's going to be big, you guys. It's going to be really cool that if I have an expected hour-long drive, that it's just going to be an hour long, you know? That's going to be one of the big things in the future that people are just not going to understand. They're not going to understand a traffic jam. You'll be like, "What do you mean traffic jam? What? Huh? What is that?" You know. We never got our flying cars, so we have flying cameras now, but we don't have flying cars. So it's just, I don't know, man. It's crazy. Alan Monroe says, yeah, like you quarantined your rummy nose tetras. Yeah, I did quarantine them. I didn't quarantine them here. So, whatever. Good luck to you. Trevor Hybert's wondering, when did Joey not quarantine fish? The new saltwater fish were put in their own system. Yeah, I don't know. I don't watch Joey's videos, so the only one I watched was the fishnet one. I watched some of them. Denise Lytle says, what is Vicky's channel? It's My Weekend Life. Let's see. Dan, I've been using salt to the max I really can for him. Tried antibiotics, tried antifungal. Nice. Let's see. I'm catching up with the chat here. See, Andrew was asking, do you know where a person can get Cyprochromis leptosoma? My go-to for any kind of specific fish here in Washington, if there's something very specific that I'm looking for, I'm always looking for a very specific fish. I go to the Wet Spot. Thewetspot.com. They're in Portland, Oregon, but it's super easy to get the fish shipped up here. And yeah, and they almost always have strange stuff. They have a huge stocking list, so that would be the first place. Or Aquabid. You can go on to Aquabid and see if somebody has some on there. You know, either way. Ultimate Fish Keeping says, now I feel like an idiot. Let's see. Oh, I'm guessing maybe, I guess it turns out maybe Joey put his stuff into its own system. Maybe he had like some new tanks set up or something like that. Maybe that's the quarantine. Okay. Huh. Okay. Well, see you later, Alan. Good luck to you. Bye-bye. Yeah. Okay, Henaxolotl Jones with a 555 super chat asking, I've been working a lot lately and keep missing you live, so I wanted to send some love during this short break this evening. Oh, thank you, Henaxolotl. I hope I say your name right. I don't know. Henaxolotl Jones. Thanks, man. Definitely appreciate it, and hopefully maybe you're still on your break. I'm not sure. All right, well, okay, let's not get sidetracked by whatever Joey's doing. I don't know what Joey's doing. Go ask him what he's doing. I like the guy. He's fine. It's all good. Whatever he's doing, he's doing. I don't really watch his channel. I'm not jealous of him. It's all good, and I'm not here to talk about Joey. So my apologies for even engaging in that conversation. It's my fault. I apologize for even talking about the guy. It's all good. Not here to talk about that guy. So, anybody wants to keep bringing it up, good luck to you. Janice Murphy says, my quarantine tank is green water more times than not. I know why, though, because if I need to raise temp, I use lights, but green water good, right? Yeah, generally speaking, green water is pretty good for most freshwater fish, especially even in a quarantine situation. If you have a pretty stressed out fish and you're bringing it home, I would bring it home. You know, you can definitely put it in a green water tank. It's not only is it going to have quite a bit of little tiny things for it to eat on and stuff like that, so you're going to give it a good food source. Green water is pretty good for acclimating fish to a new system. Bring them in, drop them. It's just sort of, I guess the best way I describe it is the same thing with like tannins, is that it's sort of just kind of like that sauna situation that I was talking about a while ago. It's like coming to the spa for those fish after a long trip. You know what I mean? It's like, do you want, say you take a 22-hour flight somewhere and you take a mud bath or something like that after, like, once you get there, you get a mud bath and a massage, you're going to acclimate to Australia a little bit better, right? So that's kind of what it is for fish coming into a quarantine tank, into some green water, that kind of situation. So yeah, go into that. Josh B is asking, Corvus, what was your previous full-time job? I'm a classically trained chef. I was a fleet mechanic for street sweepers. I did street sweeping for a few years. I've also done drywall jobs. More often than not, I've had 1 to 2 jobs. I would have 1 to 2 jobs during the week and also jobs on the weekend. So I've had many, many jobs. I'm one of those weird people that, you know, if I pick a day, I could just chill out and relax. But I'm one of those people that gets interested in something and then I go like figure it out, like I go get into it, you know. So I spent many, many years like working weekend jobs so I could learn how to do stuff like drywall. You know, I would do drywall jobs on my weekend, whether that was Monday or Tuesday or Saturday or Sunday, depending on when my weekends were. Did that stuff for years and years so that I could learn how to do it. My dad was, so growing up with my dad was a flight mechanic in the Navy. Then he was a mechanic for Ford. And then he was a custodian for the school district. So he was the head custodian, which is, you know, I learned a lot of stuff from my dad because my dad knows how to do a lot of stuff. You know, and one of those things was doing all the maintenance and stuff for all of the school districts. It's a lot of crazy stuff they have those dudes do, you know. So I learned a lot of stuff from my dad. You know, I paint houses. You know, I run plumbing and stuff like that. I do quite a bit of nonsense on a regular basis. So, you know, right now my full-time gig is a whole bunch of different stuff. So, I basically don't have a job that I go to 60 hours a week, but I do work about 80 hours a week right now, doing odd jobs, whatever needs to get done and stuff like that. I don't have just one source of income. I don't think I'll ever work for a big corporation where I, you know, show up at 5 in the morning anymore, you know, and then just work until the nighttime. I don't think I'm ever going to do that. David Titaili. David T. Okay. The water out of my tap is really hard and has a high pH. I'm interested in apistogrammas. Is soft water really important for them, or can water be sort of soft? Good way to soften and lower pH. The best way to consistently soften and lower pH for me is to, you know, use a lot of driftwood, catappa leaves, and stuff like that are pretty easy for me to replenish. I basically just go to Amazon and find bulk order, you know, dried almond leaves. It's kind of one of those things where you, what's the word? You just kind of find them in bulk and then just order a bunch of them. And then, you know, with my sump system, it makes it way easier to add catappa leaves because I can just drop them in to the sump and let them dissolve down there. And then once they've dissolved, just add more. Having a ton of driftwood will help lower your pH also. I try not to go the chemical route, but CO2 injection does drop my pH a little bit. But then again, my water is pretty neutral here. There just really isn't that much to it. My TDS is like 40. My GH and KH are like, what, 3 and 4. pH is like neutral, 6.8, 7. It's really not a whole lot to it. So it's, in my opinion, my water is pretty easy to deal with. Although there are people out there that have a differing opinion, but that's definitely, I would consider that just to go that route. And apistos do like, apistos do like that softer water. But, you know, I can't recommend to you to not try to lower the pH because it's just going to be the better thing to do for them. And just try to match them up. But I also wouldn't try to fight the water that much. So I would work on running a planted tank before I added the fish to it and see if you can't maintain kind of a better environment for that fish before you add them in. Savannah the Aqualama says, my dad is a precision welder. He also does carpentry, general building, can install wood flooring, and a myriad of skills. I admire him greatly. Joel reminds me of him, which is me. I'm Joel. Yep. And I do a lot of projects with your dad. Oh, that's awesome. Yep. That's one of the things that I look at. It's one of those things that I look at in my life, and it's something that it's something that I like to do. It's something that I like to do in my life has been instead of looking at those big business guys that and admire those dudes, the dudes that I've always admired. I mean, you think like this old house, okay? You know, Bob Vila. You know, I mean, you look at Bob Vila and you're like, that dude could build anything. He could figure it out, and you know. He could definitely figure it out and that kind of stuff. But, you know, Bob Vila's the kind of dude that I would look up to, that I'd be like, you know who that guy is? That guy shows up 20 minutes early to work. That guy sends out the emails that he needs to get to. He makes the phone calls that he needs to do. He makes sure that the other workers are on the job site getting ready to do what they're supposed to do. And then on top of it, he can do the job almost as... he can do the job at least as well as the guys on the job site, if not better. So that would definitely be kind of the way that I would go about it. Mile High Plecos has showed up, and Chad Krotz said, oh, is there drunken fights I'm missing here? What? I love the chat here. It's like a holiday at our family's house. Oh. Okay. All right. Yeah, so those are the kind of guys that I've always admired. Bald and Dangerous says Norm Abram for me. Yeah, I mean, they're all the same guy. I just figured an example to give out there. But all those dudes, those are the dudes that I admire. Like Gordon Gekko, I never admired that dude. I was like, that dude tripping, you know? So those are the kind of guys I've always admired, and that's pretty much how I've, like, modeled my life to try to be able to do all of that kind of stuff. And, you know, whenever there's stuff like that I can't figure out how to do, I go to figure out how to do it. Especially nowadays, like, somebody was telling me how confusing electrical is, because I've made... I've taken the journeyman test, and I didn't do the paid one or anything like that, but I was like, oh yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. Because the NEC, the National Electric Code, is public knowledge, you can go read it and then find out how to do it. So once you have a basis of that knowledge, you can learn and then keep going forward. Like, all that stuff is public knowledge now. You can learn it. You can go on the internet. You can find it. You can research it. You can ask questions of people. Like, for instance, right now, like, I'm online, and you could be like, oh man, I really need to ask you a question about crystal shrimp. I'd be like, hey, what up? I can answer that. You know, I spent years and years breeding crystal shrimp and have a lot of knowledge about them. So, you know, it's one of those things. Like, that's the same kind of stuff. And I also like to try and give back as much as I can. It's one of the reasons for doing this show, that a lot of people have helped me out, learn stuff throughout the years. Most people have been pretty forgiving and cool with answering my questions and stuff like that. So, you know, it's one of those, that's the way I've tried to model my life, you know. If anybody knows who Glenn Plake is, let me throw his name in here. Let me see if I got it right. Let me see. Copy. Wait, whoops. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can't find the guy. Yeah, here we go. I got it right. I spelled his name correctly. Okay, Glenn Plake is a U.S. National Ski Hall of Fame skier. Okay, so he's one of the most famous snow downhill skiers in the world of all time. Now, one of the things that is very obvious about that dude, he has a like a 1.5 foot tall giant mohawk while they drop him out of a helicopter and he skis down a giant mountain. Okay? I met this guy in 1994 when I had giant Liberty spikes. I had crazy punk rock hair too, and was able to meet this guy and hang out with him. And the reason that I met him is so I went to an event that had Warren Miller, who Warren Miller is he was like single-handedly the Discovery Channel of downhill snow skiing. The guy was the documentary filmmaker of snow skiing, right? And then every year they would release this really cool movie that he would put together. It's like this last year documentary in skiing, basically. So we went to that, met that dude, and so I ended up meeting this guy, Glenn Plake, who was super cool. And at the time, I ended up talking to him, and 1994 maybe? 93, 94, I don't know. I don't want to screw up the year, but ended up talking with the guy, and I was like, you know, what's the deal, man? Like, how did you get to be able to do this? And he was like, yeah, man, I just keep practicing. I just keep doing it. And you're like, oh, so there isn't like a book anywhere or anything like that. But he was like, well, there's older guys. There's guys that are older that I ask like what to do, and then they tell me, and then I go do it. And I was like, okay. So I've definitely taken that advice to heart, and I've also taken the advice from that guy that, you know, just being a cool dude and learning how to, you know, just learn how to do all of that stuff. Sarah Konopko says, I had all of his VHS tapes. That is awesome. Ultimate Fish Keeping Show says, thank you for having me back in the live streams. I enjoy it. Take care. Look forward to the next one. See you later. All right. See you later, man. Chad Krotz says, electrical EM3 here, although earth ground is a bunch different than grounding to a ship's hull. That is very true. I will agree with you on that. Thanks for your family's service. You're welcome. My whole family was all military. LG3 Nation says, I wish Joel would make Fluval's Trippin' shirts, but I would worry about a lawsuit. Yeah, it might have... there might be a lawsuit concern there if I'm using Fluval, and making and selling shirts could be a problem. So, yeah, I think the Fluval's Trippin' idea is... it's good for use on the internet, but it's probably not a great... it's probably not great for you know, like reselling their stuff. Let's see. Ed's Fish says, my little bro just got certed in diesel mechanics for cars. He's cleaning up because no one else wants to do it because diesel cars are fading out. Bald and Dangerous says, Charlie List missed the show a lot, Charlie. A lot of the episodes are up here on YouTube along with This Old House. Oh, yeah. Hey, by the way, if you guys are looking for This Old House, that is a show that I would just hang out and watch for a day. That's something that I would definitely watch for the whole entirety of the day. For sure. All right. In the meantime, we've got to go to the video. Oh, I'm sure I pissed off a lot of people today. I guess a lot of people left. To anybody out there who wants to talk about their show, talk about their channel, talk about this, talk about that, in the chat, just a heads up, that's one of the few rules that I have here. If you want to be promoted, email me ahead of time. This is like the 100th time I've had to say it, so I'm going to say it quickly. Email me ahead of time, and we will gladly do that. But there's just not a free-for-all here to just come in and do that. You have to, if you want to promote, you got to do it ahead of time. That's how it works. So the video is here. As I put in the title, you guys get first look at the 240 Rescape, which is probably about, I would say 80% of the way done. I would say about 80% of the way done, and I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with it so far. I would say I'm pretty happy with it. Yeah. So far, I'm pretty zazzed about how it's coming along. I've definitely done a lot of work with the Dragonstone, cutting those down and shaping them. I did have some initial ideas of what I was going to do to combine the Dragonstone with the Mopani wood. And to be brutally honest with you guys, it didn't work out that fantastically. So the last thing I wanted to do is pass on bad advice, and go like, hey, here's how to do this wrong. So I ended up kind of scrapping that and going with just combining the Mopani with the Dragonstone in a different way. I was basically going to cut it and kind of do a lamination type thing that I was going to put together, but it just really wasn't working out. It just wasn't working out, and so I just decided to just kind of scrap that and move on to the next thing. Just kind of had to scrap that and move on to something else until I can at least, at the very least, perfect it better, and then be able to bring it to you guys in a real positive way. That's what was going on with that combination thing that I just really didn't really get to it, so. Yeah, is it a win? No. Is it a loss? No. It's just that combination thing just didn't really work out, and it's just going to take some time to figure out what it's not even like I did anything wrong. It's just that like I had assumed that what I was going to do was going to work, and then it kind of didn't. So, it's not the worst. It's not the worst thing that could possibly happen. Kind of thing. Kyle Paith is here with a $5 super chat. $5 super chat saying a vehicular transportation device was being difficult at work, so I'm all sorts of late, but I made it. Well, Kyle, thank you very much for the super chat. You made it in time for the video part. You missed the part earlier where everyone's probably going to be super mad at me for multiple reasons. But I will reiterate during the show here. I do like other YouTubers. I try not to talk about them, but sometimes I accidentally read questions about other people and don't mean to. But I'm not here to talk about other YouTubers and stuff. And if somebody wants a promotion, you have to email me ahead of time. So if anybody's feelings are hurt, just relax. It's the blanket rule for everybody. And I think, to be brutally honest with you, I think that if Corey from Aquarium Co-op can take time out of his day to email me, then I think pretty much anybody else could take time out of their day to email me about a possible promotion thing. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I don't understand what happened with the weird coloring right there in the video. Why did it it's like light and then it's dark and then it's whatever. But Magic Mom is here. Good to see you. Thanks for coming out. Boop, 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 boop. The Guardian FID says, Dragonstone. Smog would be proud. I think he would, as long as there was some gold doubloons or something like that in there. And Candy Overhauls posted my email in the chat. You can email me if you want a collaboration, if you want to do something like that. And, speak of the devil with a collaboration, here's a cool thing. I got a collaboration coming out next Wednesday on Jay Wilson's channel. If you haven't seen Jay Wilson's channel, go check him out. He's got a lot more subscribers than me. Does a bunch of cool cichlid stuff. He works for, what are they called? Universal Rocks, universalrocks.com, which I am thinking about maybe ordering a background from those guys because they are really cool. And, when I was at Aquatic Experience, I got a chance to, put my hands on them. Put my hands on them and do a little grappling with their backgrounds, and they're pretty cool. I know that they've gotten great reviews and they've gotten some weird reviews, but I don't know. You know, I'm down to check them out. I want to try them out because like I said, I messed with them in person a little bit, and they look super cool. And I want to try one out. I want to try a background that will actually work. I've done some like not plexiglass. Whoops. I've done some fiberglass backgrounds and crazy stuff like that in the past, and it just seems to me that they just got some better stuff. You know what I mean? They just got some better stuff out there. Hold on a second. Hold on to your horses. Check this out. I'm gonna see if this is Inception, where I'm gonna comment on someone else's live stream while I'm live, which I did. We'll see what happens. I can't hear him talking though, so we'll find out what happens with that. Michael Davis is here saying, Joel is the man. I can't believe he's my dad. You know what's weird? It is possible. I mean, it could be possible, depending on your age. It is possible I could be somebody's dad out there. Who knows? My life's been chaotic and weird. The zombie drummer with a $7.35 super chat saying, I ain't mad, bro. All right. Well, hopefully we didn't hurt too many people's feelings today. I don't think I really said anything that messed up or anything like that, but I feel like some people might be all kind of grouchy at this one. We'll probably get a bunch of grouchy comments, but either way, you know, my apologies. I don't mean to, you know, light anybody under a bad light or anything like that, but you know what I mean. Rules, bro. So, all right. Let's see. Denise Lytle says, I will be lurking and working on some homemade cream of potato soup for dinner. Oh, man, that sounds great. I think I'm going to do some chicken. I'm going to do some chicken and a couple other things, which I have not decided of yet. But I might be doing a spinach salad, I think. Probably have some spinach salad. Candy Overhauls just posted in the stream that I posted in. The Guardian FID says, don't break the internet, Joel. All right. Yeah, I won't. That's kind of funny, though. Uh-oh, BC Fish Room's really pissed now. Uh-oh. Charlie List says, no grouches allowed. Yep, no grouches allowed. Let's see. BC Fish Room is getting over the flu. Oh, man. That has been going around. I'll tell you. You know, we talked about that a little bit in the Real Fish Talk yesterday. Everybody been getting sick. Me and Corey and I, myself included, everybody been sick. Pretty crazy stuff. Bare Bottom Aquarium says, I need a promotion. I've been at my job for 13 years with only cost of living raises. Oh, man, that is brutal. I'm sorry to hear that. That's rough. Charlie List says, I have a 75. I'll set up once I move to our new place this August. Ooh, nice. That's going to be cool. Did I miss the sump thingy? Sump thingy will probably be on Monday, I think. Today's video is the current State of the Union address for the 240. Darko Leskovchek is asking, is there even water in that tank? It looks so clean. No, actually, there is no water in this tank. I'm very, 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 very sneaky. Very, very sneaky. Very, very sneaky. No water in here. Looks like the fishes are flying. Thank you. I think it looks pretty good. Like I said, I think I'm about 80% done with this aquarium, with this scape. I definitely have some plants to move. I have a bunch of plants in the sump that need to get planted. I have some kind of dead spots that need to get filled in and whatnot, but I'm also kind of making some decisions on exactly what I want and where And then I also got to figure out if I do realistically want to incorporate some additional plants into this scape or not, or just decide to, you know, utilize them elsewhere, you know. So, and I don't have any plants in the upper realm yet. There's nothing really like kind of hovering up in the upper realm. So I basically have just that bulbitis that's up high right now. So I'm going to have to figure out if I want to leave it like that or if I want to move it around. But it's definitely coming along. And I do have to admit, after a week of it like being cloudy and messed up, it does feel good to walk in there and go like, oh yeah, there's the 240, you know, there it is. There's that 240 that we're talking about. And I'm glad to be able to actually check it out now and not feel like I'm about to have an aneurysm because it's like just a mess. You know what I mean? So Linda Nielsen says, forgot to go to bed, was busy with my 3 new Anubias mother plants. I got them attached to a big stump in my 90-gallon. Ooh, that's the way to do it. I love gluing Anubias to stuff. I think you guys know that one for sure. Dan Squire says a big net is a pro tip. Everybody likes to have that big old bass net. You know what I'm talking about. Ed's Fish says, I wish I could hand my tank over to Joel and just have him make it look not stupid. You could. Depends on where you're at geographically, though. I think that's really what it comes down to. Oh, okay, that's what that camera shot was doing. It's because I was showing you guys the LED lights. I definitely wanted to show you guys that I am running the Fluval 2.0s on this 240 right now. Currently, I have 4 on there, which I feel like is going to be too much over time. I'll probably end up going back to 3, maybe. Or maybe I'll just keep the light all jacked up and bright and just kind of see what I get going. Some people are asking if I have to tone the flow down on this aquarium. I've pretty much got this aquarium jacked up. The rummy nose actually in this tank. Now, I wouldn't say just like across the board or anything like that, but in this tank, they are much more enjoying a good amount of flow, personally. If I lower it way down, they all kind of start to look all sleepy and harebrained, you know? And they just don't seem right. And if you do move, they kind of freak out. Or if you like kind of bump into something and they're like, whoa, they freak out. But with the flow nice and high, they're just kind of swimming around and staying content and kind of looking around for things to snack on and stuff like that, which they generally should be doing. I do have a bunch of cherry shrimp that have moved up into the display tank here. And I'm happy to say so far that, you know, honestly, the rummy nose, they're just not good enough hunters to really get on the cherry shrimp. And there's plenty of hiding space for them in here. So if I get some mama shrimps throwing babies, yeah, hopefully most of the babies will stay out of the way until they get a little bit bigger. And they're just kind of too evasive for the rummy nose. The rummy nose isn't hyper aggressive type of fish, so I think they're kind of just have a tendency to get passive at certain times. And you know, hunting for shrimp probably is one of those times. And they're just kind of chilling after that. Let's see here. The Guardian FID is saying, I'm jealous of your bulbitis, Joel. Something about that just sounds wrong. Oh, you should be. You should be jealous of my bulbitis, my man. Oh, and Savannah the Aqualama is asking, Joel, what is that fern-like dark green leafy plant? That is bulbitis. So to answer both of those questions, that's the bulbitis, and you should be jealous. The easiest way to grow bulbitis is to get a chunk of it and throw it somewhere in a tank where it is behind and you never see it. Okay? Forget that you own it until you suddenly, like 6 months down the road or whatever, you know, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but 6 months down the road, all of a sudden you start seeing these big leafy green leaves coming up from behind whatever you threw it behind. Whatever you threw it behind, and boom, next thing you know, you got yourself a big old bulbitis. That's the best way to do it. Just forget that you own it is probably going to be extremely the best way to just do that, you know. Johnny O'Free says, my cherry shrimp gave birth. My tank has lots of hiding spaces. I have a dwarf fire gourami. What do you think of the chances of survival are? Dwarf gourami will hunt shrimp generally at night. Whereas, like, the rummy-nosed tetra, they just lay down and go to sleep at night, pretty much. They all hide down super low, chill out, and, like, the schooling effect. That's the only time that really the schooling effect really goes away, except there are 2 big schools of the rummy-nose in here. So sometimes, you know, I look at the school and go, like, that doesn't seem like enough fish, and then I realize there's another school behind the woods part, you know, where there's, like, tons and tons of driftwood, and like, what are they doing back there? I don't know, there's an extra 70 fish back there or something. You know, you're like, oh, it was kind of wonky. But the dwarf gourami would definitely eat some of them, but if you have plenty of hiding spaces and stuff like that, the shrimp can they can survive. If you're really pushing to like breed them like crazy for resale or something like that, I would set up just a separate individual tank for them. It's just easier to manage them that way and figure out how many you got going. You don't have to have a billion hiding spaces, and so you definitely get a lot more opportunity to find out what's going on with your colony if you are breeding them that way. Ed's Fish says, just had 50 to 70 fish hiding in there somewhere. Yeah, it's a fun tank. It is a fun tank. I was kind of doing some brainstorming earlier today about some ideas of what I may or may not want to change in the fish room. And I basically got talked down from what I think my ideas are. But I think I'm going to stick with really wanting to get some nice acrylic 120s. I think that's what I'm going to stick with. I think that's just going to be the smartest way to stay with where I'm at in my plan here and not go completely changing it. I think I'm just going to figure out where I can get a hold of some nice 120s and just keep hammering away on that plan. If that happens, cool. If not, then whatever. You know what I mean? So, let's see. Linda Nielsen says cherry shrimp are my favorites. They're one of my favorites, that's for sure. I always have a tendency to have them all over the place. Bare Bottoms Aquarium saying, how does the cherry shrimp deal with high flow? Cherry shrimp do not care about high flow. They just grab onto whatever they're doing. They are ambivalent. It really is. I think that cherry shrimp are just completely ambivalent of the from high flow. They just do not seem to care, like, at all. So I would not be super concerned with cherry shrimp in that. They'll normally just find something underneath or whatever if they're gonna be freaked out by the flow. Let's see. Jose Davila is asking, the good deal on 2 or 3 of the Fluval Stratum 17.6-pound bags is no longer on Amazon. The 9-liter bags of 88 Amazona Aquasoil are currently unavailable on Amazon. This does happen from time to time with, strangely enough, the Stratum and the Amazonia. For whatever reason, they just can't seem to get them imported at the exact same time. It's so odd. It's so odd, like they're coming from the exact same place. This does happen from time to time with the importing from Japan. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. It will probably come back, Jose. I would just be patient. Possibly find a local fish store or something like that that's carrying them. And maybe you can go there and pick them up there. But, you know, sometimes you just have to be patient with this stuff. It's being shipped from the other side of the planet. And, you know, so sometimes you just have to wait. Bentley Pascal saying at Savannah Aqualama, but is great for getting out your anger while listening to Bob Ross to remain zen. What? Fortnite is less angering than League of Legends sometimes, though. Oh, okay. You guys are talking about Fortnite. I was trying to figure out what was going on. Reading the chat here. Let's see. Bald and Dangerous, the Dougie from the UK says, right, peeps, this old boy's ready for bed, so nighty-night. Catch y'all later. Oh, well, have a good night, Doug. Sorry you had to go to bed early. I know it's super late where you're at, so it's not early. I know. But have a good night. Thanks for coming out, Doug. Much love to the UK, the Brits. The Guardian FID says Rummy knows high school dropouts in the back of the tank. I can relate. They're at them high school dropouts. All right, guys. Well, seems like is our show just winding down? Doesn't seem like there's that much more to do with the show. I don't know. So if anybody's got any questions, we'll run through those and get up to the end of the show. Like I said, I'm pretty tired myself. Maybe a little cranky, maybe a little punchy today. But it seems like we're kind of winding down. It seems like everybody's seen the video portion. I think I talked about what was mostly going on in there. I know you guys got to see the aerial column trimming and that stuff on Monday. So hopefully that comes through. And hopefully everybody got that. Hopefully everybody liked Real Fish Talk yesterday. Nobody. None of that's working. Okay. Well, all right. Click the buttons over here. Gillet's still here. What's up, man? Gone Mad got an 88-pound box of stratum yesterday from Amazon. Well, I guess all the stratum's over at Gone Mad's house, so now we know what's going on. Savannah the Aqualama says, Joel, I did ask about Anubius. What Anubius? What happened? Savannah has a problem with her beta. What's going on here? So I can relate to Spiderwood. I put it down lower. That makes sense. I was told they're tolerant of growing low light, but could benefit from more light. What's going on? JH Aquatics says, my yellow King Kong shrimp just blew up. I think it was really all about the heavy leaf litter and consistent temperature. Wow. Yeah, that'll always do well. That'll always do well for shrimp. They like heavy leaf litter, that is for sure. All right, I can't find... Savannah Aqualama says, I have an Anubius higher up on a piece of spiderwood, and it seems to be suffering a bit right now. It could be any number of things. It could realistically just be too close to the light. There could be not enough nutrients in the water column, since it's pretty much a root feeder. Could be, yeah, I mean, it could be any number of things. Generally speaking, if it's up too close to the light, it's probably melting a little bit, or just, you know, it's getting too much light. So Anubius typically comes from the ground floor in the jungle, basically. Would be the easiest way to put it. It basically comes from the ground floor, so it's normally down there in the shade and stuff like that. And it also does spend more often than not a period of the year where it is up in the air, so it can actually have a chance to recover really well in the air and grow pretty big before it goes back under the water again. So it does quite a bit of that stuff. It is pretty hardy, but generally too much light will either just grow algae all over it, or sometimes it does have a tendency to melt. If it is a new anubias, sometimes if you have yellow leaves and melting leaves, it's because they were grown above the water column, and then it's taking time to completely change. Like two of the leaves on that hostifolia, that big old hostifolia I got a while ago, it's two of the leaves turned bright yellow and then melted away, and then guess what? The new underwater growth is sprouting out now that it basically pulled that energy in. Gaddis Aquatics says, what's the timeline looking for the aquaponics projects? Talked about that earlier, probably 3-4 weeks at least before we start digging holes and stuff like that. Frank Dominguez says, hashtag stop anubias abuse. It's legit. Gabe Jamon says, what are some fish room tips? Get as many tanks as you can. Fish room tips. Clean water. I mean, I don't know. What specific tips are you looking for? Let's see. Barbara says, thanks for entertaining me while I cleaned up the patio. Beautiful day here. 79 degrees. I'm jealous. That would be nice here. Ed's Fish says, still light outside. Yay, spring. Yeah, it is nice in the spring. It's full daylight here still. Soapbox Debris, a.k.a. Phil Emerson, says, very cool. What happened? Phil Emerson, I think they're letting the flow move them. My Danios do the same. What's going on here? In your vid, why do the schooling fish swim looking uppish at an angle? Looking for food? Oh, it's probably just because they're swimming in the flow. Yeah, them doing that weirdness, they're kind of just in the flow. It's not that there's a ton of flow in that tank. There's a ton of flow in the front of the tank, and that's where they love swimming back and forth. So that's where they hang out all the time. They could easily hang out in the back where there's like, so the front of the tank, the overflow comes, or sorry, the return flow comes and runs along the front of the tank, and that's where they like swimming back and forth. They just love it right there. They know there's the rest of the tank because I see them swimming around in it, and they got to be knowing that, right? So it's where they love to swim back and forth all day long. Let's see. Dan Squire says the best way to get your questions answered in the show is to post them in the Patreon community page. Joel will normally run through the week's posts on Friday. That is legit and correct. BC Fishroom says, Fishroom tip, do a PVC loop air system. If you're gonna do sponge filters, I would definitely do a loop air system so you can run it all off one pump. At Lord Gitface and Corvus, you guys are cool, thank you. All right, well, that's, who knows? Who knows if that's good? Kilm Eichel SS. May the flow rise to push you. All right. Let's see. Oh, somebody was asking, where did it go? Johnny O'Free was asking Eco-Complete or Fluval Stratum. If I had to pick between the two, I would pick Fluval Stratum. That would, that's one of my favorite substrates to use, anyhow. So, I would probably go with the one that I like more than the other one, but Eco-Complete is a fantastic, substrate, so I don't think you could really go wrong with either one. I've had lots of success with both of them, so not a big deal. Quick, 20 cherry barbs or 6 Denison barbs? 75-gallon aquarium. 100% cherry barbs. 100%. Because you can get 20. What is the biggest fish you've ever owned? The biggest fish I've ever owned? Koi, probably. Probably koi. It's probably the biggest. Like 2-foot koi. It's probably the biggest, I would think. I would guess that's probably the biggest. Or I guess, and then the biggest saltwater fish, I guess, was probably like a butterfly tang? Is that right? Hold on. Trying to think of no, the sailfin tang was too small. I'm trying to think of the type of tang. I don't know. I had a big tang. I can't remember the name of it. But it's been a long time. I've definitely taken care of a lot of big fish, like really big arowanas, big pacu. That came up in conversation last night with the big pacu. I've taken care of those guys. Trying to think of anything bigger than that. One of the old local stores used to have alligator gars that were like 10 feet long in a big swimming pool. And those were pretty crazy. I didn't have anything to do with those, but those, it was like, man, taking care of those must be crazy. And they did have a big picture book of moving them around, having to treat them for stuff, the injuries that those fish had created, amongst other things, for sure. And definitely a cool book, but man, moving those giant fish around that are angry, totally crazy. Josh Wallace asking, what's your favorite floating plant? Red root floaters would be my favorite floating plant. That would be red root floaters would be my favorite. Oh my gosh. We got a crazy big super chat here, guys, from Raymond Bardine. Don't break the internet, you guys. Giant super chats. Oh. Hey, you guys. I forgot to mention one of my favorite things to talk about, which pisses people off, I'm sure. Caleb Overhaul's #1 fan. If you haven't been over to the GoFundMe, I want you guys to go over there and share it out. Copy it. Copy the GoFundMe. You go up to the top, highlight it, you right-click it, copy, then you go over to your Facebook page or your Instagram page or your Twitter page or whatever, and you share it. You just do that. Caleb's our #1 fan, and this GoFundMe is to help out Caleb in the fight. He has leukemia. He's a young man. Can't do it on his own. We're here to help. At the very least, we could help out with that. But we have a super chat. Super chat here to answer from Raymond Bardine. $20 super chat saying, looking forward to the quarantine tank video. Hashtag put a sump on it. Okay, I'm not going to put a sump on my quarantine tank, but I will post out the quarantine tank video, and I'll post that one up real quick tomorrow morning, and you guys will be able to check that out and figure out how I set up my quarantine tank. And somebody's banging around in the back door. It's Vicky Toria. I can hear her. She just came blasting in through the back. But yeah, I'll get that quarantine tank video out to you guys and let you guys take a look at it. And then you can go like, oh, that's not that hard. Got it. That's what I'm going to do. But yeah, I probably wouldn't put a sump on it. Zaps U's asking, ever tried breeding shrimp in 30 to 40 gallon tubs? Never in 30 to 40 gallon tubs, but I used to do it in 28 gallon tubs. I guess, yeah, the Rubbermaid 28 gallons. So I think that's what you're talking about, like the 30 gallon tubs, right? I'm like, it's 28 gallons, like a maniac. Sorry about that. But yes, I have bred them in tubs before. I don't find tubs to be a good decision for anything that's long term. And if I'm going to do something that's long, what are you doing? Hi, Vicky is here and she is clomping around in the hallway like a maniac. Hey, you just wearing your shoes in the house now?
Oh.
Is that what you're doing? You crazy? Hey, babe. Yeah. Where are you going?
Hang on. Taking off my shoes.
Okay, give me a kiss. Hello. Hi.
Hello.
I love you too. Okay, so yes, I have done shrimp in the tubs, but I think for long-term shrimp breeding projects, it is definitely best to go ahead and just get like a glass tank. Those tubs are pretty good for like a minnow breeding project or like a guppy breeding. Oh, guppy breeding. Why won't my guppy give birth? I don't know. It's driving me nuts. But those tubs are fantastic for some fish breeding projects. They come in super, super awesome for that. Shrimp, it can just be a bit confusing. It's hard to count how many you have. It's also very difficult to see whether or not there is a possibility that you could have some parasites or something like that going on in a shrimp tub, and you can't really tell if they what they have going on because looking from up above, it's problematic. But those are some of the issues that I encountered. But other than holding water, they do break down over time when they're full of water, like if you have them outside. So if they get sun damage, they will crack and fall apart over time. But yeah, it's definitely doable. It's definitely doable, but those are some of the issues that I ran into when I was doing that. But, you know, it is possible. I just don't think it's a huge savings when, you know, $1 per gallon sale, you can get like $20 tanks, you know, and just go ahead and, because I mean, look at it this way. If you saved up $250, that would cover the tax. You could get like 10 20-gallon tanks and, you know, get them all rocking and rolling with some sponge filters and, you know, do your shrimp breeding projects in there. And you can see inside and see what's going on and make sure that everybody's doing well. Denise Lytle says, at me, just know that you do a wonderful job, and if people get upset and cause drama over things, it is on them. You're doing a wonderful job and have a wonderful heart. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. You know, I just want to squash anything that may or may not be considered somebody thinking I'm like talking bad or this or that. But before, you know, it's like, wait a minute, that could get misconstrued. And the last thing I want to do is have a bunch of people freak out on me because I'm criticizing something I, first of all, don't even know anything about, which is other people's projects. More often than not, I don't know anything about them. So sorry, I try to self-correct as fast as I can. I ain't perfect. And by the way, I will reiterate, I did not get a lot of sleep last night. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely spent a lot of time driving. We basically went up to Canada and back. So, Savannah Aqua Llama says, hashtag Joel's tripping. Hashtag Guppy's laughing. I'm telling you, that guppy is going to give birth at some point in time, and I'm going to take care of the babies, but I'm reconsidering something. I don't know what I'm reconsidering. I'm reconsidering something. JH Aquatics says, Joel, seriously, I'm in the same boat. I hope both of our guppies let those fry go like now. I tried Epsom salt and peas, nothing yet. What else can I try? I am actually going to do a big water change on that tank today, actually, tonight. Vicky has a bunch of appointments to go do, so I scheduled some maintenance for later tonight. And I'm going to be doing that while she's off at her meetings. I'm going to do some big old water changes. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to do those water changes and see if maybe something is going on while she's not throwing the babies. But, I mean, otherwise, that 150 that she is in is a fantastically good tank. I mean, everything is doing well in there. I mean, I literally have Bucophilandra is spreading, growing fast, and, well, fast for Bucophilandra, not fast for fast-growing plants, and flowering. So I'm like, dude, what could be going on here that is, like, not well for the guppies? So I might need to add a little bit of mineral to the tank. So I am concerned that I might need to get the minerals up a little bit higher, but it's a pretty simple fix. So get myself some what are those? You know what's funny is, like, Corey tricked me into thinking, you know, he didn't trick me, but he was like, he's the one that was like, have you tried these Wonder Shells? They always seem so goofy. They always seem super goofy, and yeah, turns out they actually work pretty well. So considering they're like $2.99 for like a bag of 3 of them or something, I'll probably just go pick some up and get some of those. Guardian FID says, I know this is a sensitive subject, Joel, but my female guppy dropped fry last night. Love your artwork. I'm a fellow artist myself. Love the details. Hey, I like you guys razzing me on this guppies, man, because I wish that she would just drop the fry. Like, I just don't even get it at this point. Like, I'm going through the 7 stages, you know, and I was angry, and now I'm just accepting it pretty much at this point. So it just is what it is. Candy Overhaul says, the affiliate link to the Aquarium Co-op helped Joel beat Mike from the Aqua Pros. Yeah, if you guys are going to order something from Corey from Aquarium Co-op, which I would recommend if you're going to get stuff, I use his plants, or I buy plants from him, stuff like that. So I would definitely recommend them. There is basically an affiliate link that says I sent you, and you know, it's like a gentleman's wager, you know, that I'm trying to beat the Shakespeare, the Aqua Pros. And which reminds me, I gotta text him back. I guess he was texting me some real nonsense earlier, and I'm gonna get to the bottom of that because it was ridiculous. So either way, if you want to order from those guys, head through that thing. I guess the Fluval lights aren't available now until the 1st because Fluval said stop selling them stop selling them for a couple of days because of some big to-do thing or whatever, and they're not supposed to be available until the 1st, which is Sunday. So you just have to wait a couple of days till they're back out again, and then, you know, they'll be coming out. Guardian FID says, face it, Joel, guppies are trolling you. Yeah, they probably are. Hashtag guppies be tripping. Yeah, you're probably right. We got 1 minute left in the show. I think we got through the requisite stuff. We are coming up on the end of the month. If you aren't a Patreon, I would I would consider becoming a Patreon. If you're not, that's the whole reason this show even ever happens, because of the 293 awesome Patreonizers that we have. If you aren't one, I'd consider it. It's a once-a-month contribution to basically the production of the show. We, you know, our current incarnation is about $1,100 a month, which is awesome. It's amazing. Somebody asked me the other day that, are you taxed on that Patreon money? And yeah, I'm taxed at the independent level, which awesomely enough is 37%. So that $1,200 just in the tax hit itself goes down to a lot lower. Not that I'm crying or anything like that. It's awesome where we're at. But just to give you an idea, that's what's up. There's 293 people that are keeping the airwaves clear, and we are bringing it to you as best we can. We do have higher goals, and that's the reason for the higher goals and stuff like that, is to be able to do bigger projects and bigger things and all of the good stuff that we want to keep doing here. And if you aren't a Patreon, just consider it. It's once a month, and we'll definitely be seeing you all later on the other flip side. A&A Life says, don't end the show. Oh, no worries. We'll be back on Friday for a 2-hour show. Everybody have a fun Wednesday out there, and I'm going to be going ahead, and I'm going to be talking to you all later.